Hey guys, this is my 2006 TJ Wrangler. I thought I'd do a bit of a walk around video, and I'm going to spend probably a good 10 or 12 minutes doing this, just because I know there's going to be some questions about the engine setup in particular. But the car is an 06 manual TJ with the 4 litre. As you can see, bushwhacker flares, 32-inch tyres, ultra vision lights, steadies, heritage lights in here. You can see a little heat exchanger in there. Externally I've kept it quite sedate because I really didn't want it to look too big or too appealing to the police effectively. I will change the wheels for something less horrible as soon as they become available, but for now this is how I run it and have done for the last few years. I have a rugged ridge rear door hinge, stock bumpers front and rear, but I bought the American style ends to get rid of those god awful Aussie ends that we have. It's in pretty good shape overall. I do try to keep it in good shape. It's a bit dirty now, being middle of winter. We're not using it heaps. Internally we have the standard grey interior, some autometer cobalt gauges. We have an electronic boost controller down here, UHF, couple of switches here, one for the spotlights and one for high boost, low boost. I've kept it pretty standard inside. Like I said, we do use this a lot in summer, and I do tend to keep it quite tidy. Now, the part that most people are probably interested in is under here. Now bear with me while I get this bonnet opened up. We do love this about the TJ. In here I have built my own turbo setup. I'll try to be as detailed as I can without dragging things on, just because I know some of you are interested in what I've done. I have a GT3582 Chinese style turbo currently. I will probably go to something brand named in the future, but on this stock motor, this is what I have. That turbo draws in through here. I've got a K&N inline filter which is connected to the snorkel, so I've been able to retain the snorkel, have a full sealed system and an inline filter all packaged very neatly here. It's not my favourite thing in the world, and the inside detached at one point, so I probably wouldn't recommend one, but until I fabricate something from scratch, that is it. The turbo setup itself has a 3-inch dump, and that 3-inch dump continues to be 3-inch all the way to the back of the car. Under here you can see the GFB EX44 wastegate, which is actually plumbed back. As you can see, it merges back into the dump pipe there. That was quite a pain to build those two mergers, but it's in there and it's working. It's all working very well. Clearance is an issue, a real issue, and it's going to be hard to show it on this video, but clearance from the steering arm was tight, clearance from the top control arm was tight, clearance on the oil filter is tight, although I could have done that a bit differently if I run the dump pipe further back, so that might be something I readdress in the future. That is the solenoid for the electronic boost controller. On top we have a air to water intercooler. Everything's insulated, wrapped where possible. We have a catch can here. I had to go with the SAS catch can, which I really hated, but it was the only thing small enough to physically go in there. Push lock fittings, AN10. Everything is AN where possible, braided. All the good bits where I could, even the vacuum lines oil return lines, absolutely everything is braided. Injectors are big Siemens injectors, they're 60 pounders. The exhaust manifold is the stock cast iron manifold. And what I've done is I have effectively gone under the engine and then gone up into the bottom of the turbo through there. We're talking only 10mm clearance in a lot of instances, so things are very tight. The car runs good, it's tuned through the factory NGC3 PCM. Perfect idle, perfect cruise throttle, perfect under load. I did do it myself after the bloke I paid initially stuffed it up and ruined my interior in the process. It was a bit of a pain because I wanted to tune it myself initially but couldn't find HP tuners in stock at the time, so I paid someone and then had to go back and do it all from scratch. Lesson learned, but at the moment it's all good and it runs nice. There's heaps I've left out, I'm sure, but you know, that covers the bulk of it. I think water pump here for the intercooler, that basically sucks water out of the back, runs along here, down here. I've notched the actual radiator, which is going to be hard to show, but that water pipe goes into another water pump here, hidden behind there. So the pump behind here pushes water up to the intercooler, and the one at the back of the firewall pushes it down, and that heat exchanger does all the heat exchanging. It really does run good, and I've had no running issues with it yet at 11 psi, 10 psi depending. I do have every intention to do a built motor, but for now this is it. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the rundown.